Well, I guess unboxings aren't what they used to be. Samsung has removed the headphones from the box and now the charger from the box, so when you get a Galaxy S21 and an S21 Ultra, there isn't a whole lot to explore. But once you get into the phones, there is a lot to get excited about. I'm Andrew Martinick with Digital Trends. I am going to unbox the Galaxy S21 and S21 Ultra and see everything they have to offer. Now, as I dive into the Galaxy S21 and S21 Ultra, I gotta remind you really quickly to like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep seeing everything that we're doing here, S21 and beyond. Now, obviously, I already opened up the standard S21 right here, but I have the S21 Ultra 5G that I haven't touched yet, so you can see exactly what it's like. Really, there's not gonna be a whole lot to it, unfortunately. Pop it off. Couple pieces of plastic. Samsung doesn't even wrap around the sides and the front anymore, which was just frustrating to me anyway, so I don't really care. You get a nice color matched piece of plastic for some reason. And this is the Ultra, of course, with all of those cameras on the back. And this is the big talking point. This is the first thing that you need to know about this phone. You don't get anything extra in the box. For what is a $1,200 phone in the S21 Ultra, you get a phone and a cable. Welcome to 2021. This is what you expect. Now, of course, the charger works with any charger that you have. You plug directly into a computer, anything like that. And this is the way of the future as well. It is a USB-C to USB-C cable. Samsung has finally given up on A to C, and you know what? I actually applaud that. This looks like a pretty nice cable as well. And of course, you get this little bit of annoying stuff off of your Ultra, and this is what you're left with. This is the top and the bottom of Samsung's range. So you have the S21 down at the bottom, S21 Ultra at the very top. You can just imagine that there's an S21 Plus here in the middle. Now, I'm going to start with the lower end phone because this is the one that is getting all of the attention. The S21 has a plastic back. Now, you may not be able to notice it on camera, which is kind of the whole point. Samsung's been doing this for a couple of generations now, in that the Galaxy Note 20 came with a plastic back and the Galaxy S20 FE came with a plastic back. Samsung is drawing no attention to this, of course, because when you look at these side by side, you look at the promo materials, they look like they're the same. But you can tell immediately when you put your hands on this that yeah, it's plastic, and when you hold it in your hand, this is already a smaller, lighter phone. It feels light, and that's, look, I don't really mind it that much for a phone that is $800 instead of $1,000. I get that, and Samsung rightfully is going to catch a little flack for trying to pull a fast one on us with one phone being made out of glass and the other one being made out of plastic, but that's neither here nor there. You're gonna have to just experience this for yourself and see. But let's get past the plastic and talk about the frame, which is metal. It's the same metal on either phone. It wraps around all the way, and it really is shown off in this gold and violet color, which is not available for the S21 Ultra. It's just available on the S21 and S21 Plus. And the way that they've integrated the frame into the camera is just very cool. I like the look. It diminishes the, how much the camera stands out when it comes to rocking on a table, which I appreciate. And it just is a new look to really differentiate you from, the last few Samsung phones that have kind of looked the same. Now let's slide this to the side and talk about this absolute behemoth, the S21 Ultra. This is bigger than the S20 Ultra, and it's heftier than the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, which is just insane to me. If you've used a Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, you're probably not upgrading to this, but really, trust me, this thing is a total chonker. But it's for good reason. Has a gigantic battery inside, of course, and it's got just the build quality to match. It's just wonderful. And one thing you'll notice here as I turn it on is that the display has curves to it. The S21 and S21 Plus have a flat display and only the glass is a little curved, but this with the curved edges is just a little more svelte, a little sleeker. You'll notice on the sides in this black model that everything just kind of comes to a nice round edge. And of course, with that glass on the back, it just gives you a higher end feel. You'll notice that it's not just exclusive to the plastic back, that this has a matte finish to it. If you've had a Samsung phone before, you know that fingerprints are a major problem and the matte finish doesn't pick them up. The other side of the coin there is that you have to rely on the glossy sides of the phone to get grip. If you can't get fingerprints on it, that means your fingers don't grip it. Again, maybe not so much of a problem if you're going to use a case, but it is something to think about. The phones look amazing, but this is going to be a bit of a slippery fish. Now, for the camera pod, it sticks out almost as much as the Galaxy Note 20 Ultras does. It's just masked a little bit, especially in this black color, integrating into the frame. You put it down on a table, yeah, it's gonna rock, and it's not gonna be a fun time when you're trying to poke or type at it when it's sitting on a table. Again, if you want to do the comparison test, not so much on the lower end models. But what else can we talk about here? Because this is a new design, and that's really the only major thing that is happening with these phones outside of a couple camera tweaks on the S21 Ultra. These designs, they really stand out, and they're worthwhile, especially if you're upgrading from an S9 or an S10. Nobody's switching from an S20 to an S21, so Samsung doesn't have to worry about that. But the only other thing that you notice from the outside is going to be when you pop open this SIM card tray and you realize that there's no SD card slot. Now, in my initial reaction video to the S21 launch, a couple people started to fight, started to get into it over the SD card slot. Look, it's gone, it's never coming back, and I really don't care. I haven't put an SD card slot into a phone in years. I don't think about it. Especially with this phone right here, the Galaxy S21 Ultra. This one has 512 gigabytes of storage. Now it's 128 by default, as is the case with the S21, but if you want to upgrade, you can go to 512 and you can get 16 gigs of RAM at the same time. So those are the two things you get in the box with the Galaxy S21. Now, there's so much more to get into with these phones beyond the box. Let's be honest, the box is a little boring, but I'm gonna have a full review coming up right here on the Digital Trends channel. Stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, drop a comment down below, let me know the specific thing